Let me present. All right. So let's kind of take a look at what I want in the blog, what I got in the blog today. Um, so number one, a friend of mine sent me this link. It was kind of cool. I don't know if you've ever seen this. You may or may not have seen the video of the guy who created a dartboard that would move around so that when you threw a dart, it would actually, with a camera, it would track the dart flying through the air, and it would like move the dartboard so you always got a bullseye. And so this guy did the same kind of thing, but with a basketball backboard that would move around and and position itself so that the trajectory of the ball as it came towards the basket would it would angle it so that it would always go into the basket. It was kind of cool because um, if you broke down all the problems that he was solving, we actually touched on most of that stuff, in class. And he built a lot of it with just an Arduino running stuff. And so that was kind of cool. So I want you to watch this video. It's about 12 minutes or so. I can't remember now, 15 minutes long. Um, but uh, but I want you to watch this video, and I want you to then go kind of turn in this, your thoughts on these questions here, right? Number one, I want you to kind of think about the skills or the tasks that the tech that he has to be able to solve to be able to make this work, like using 3D printing or Arduino code. But I want you to just kind of list out all the different things that he tried to use, and I want you to pay attention to the math that he used, because on one level it's like really complex math, but on another level, if you break it down, you can actually break it down into really small problems that he was able to solve. And especially when he talks about ballistic theory and how ballistic trajectory works and how he used that to basically figure out, as he's looking at a picture, to decide what's a ball, right? Because like he doesn't really know necessarily what a ball looks like, right? And he talks about how like his head looks like a ball, and there's the ball, and there's other things in the room that look like balls. But as the objects start to move through that space, only one of the objects ends up looking like a ball traveling towards the basket. And basically, so he used that math to do that. Um, I want you to think about how much time did he have to actually figure all this information out before the ball got from him to the basket, and then just the physics of it, right? He talks about the fact that he has to think about mass and acceleration, and I want you to explain to me what the problem was that he was trying to overcome when he was doing that. Um, so anyway, so watch that video. I think you'll find it's very interesting, and I think you'll agree that, like, while some of the stuff is complex that he's doing, it's actually stuff that you could probably solve, right? If we had time in class to go from, the whole year, we might have been able to, cover some of the stuff that he talked about. Um, anyway, so that's the number one assignment for today. Um, should take you, 25 minutes maybe to watch the video and write up your answers. Um, so do that today for your attendance and participation. Um, so I didn't post a new set of labs today specifically. Um, but let's talk about it in a second. The other first thing though, I want to talk about, like, what's going on. What's going on this week. Um, and I didn't update this, so that today is probably wrong. It's really this week. So today, which is the 12th, there are two classes that are happening if you're interested in. Again, the same organization is teaching these two classes. One is fundamental HTML, CSS, how that kind of stuff works, um, and then the other is JavaScript. And what's interesting about this, let's see if I let's see, here we go. But what's interesting about this is that I've been actually working on on a CSS version of my website, and bring up my web page that I've been working on right there. All right. So if you go to my website right now, it's this horrible looking site that I haven't really been updating, haven't done anything. This was like way last summer, um, and I need to just like update it more. But what I have been working on is kind of a new version of this where, like, I got, oh, look, all my little social media things show up. I've got you know nice little links. They're not quite right because it like doesn't go across there. It's still tricky to do, but basically, I've been working on trying to get a new page set designed, right? And so I've been learning CSS, and I've been learning a little bit of JavaScript. I haven't used much JavaScript yet. Most of this is just HTML and CSS. And so the idea is that there's stuff you can go learn, right? So anyway, those are classes that are happening today. Tomorrow there's this one. I will post a couple more things because there's actually a few other things going on that I just saw in my mail. And I'll update this and post it. And I'll send a text out later through the Remind app and just say, hey, go check this stuff. But anyway, there's that. All right. So the other thing that I want you to do, and I'm going to post this right after I finish talking to you, I'm going to post a Google Classroom assignment for this as well. There are lots of free Python stuff that's out there. Michelle, you saw all this stuff yesterday, but I'm going to go quickly go through this. Right. So if you go to Udemy, they've got at least 5 classes here that are free. Right. I mean, this one is says 30 minutes, so maybe it's not very long, but you have an opportunity to look at stuff. And then they do have some paid ones, but I honestly right now I wouldn't pay for anything until you've really exhausted lots of the free resources, because there's so much you can learn for free, especially if you go off to like YouTube and go to the YouTube channels. There's a ton of free classes. Some of them are about an hour long, maybe, and some of them just kind of walk you through a bunch of different structures. But they're really good opportunities to learn, and some of them are like 4 hours long, and kind of dive in fairly deep. So in any case, the idea here is that there are lots of opportunities that you can do between now and the end of the year, or all summer, right? And the other last one I wanted you to look at is this edX, because this one is more college-ish level, longer term kind of things, and they've got a bunch of classes, and some of them actually start, like, for example, these are self-paced, right? You just click on that and just start it, and it just works through. But then other ones, like this one starts on June 3rd, right? This one starts on September 1st, right? This one starts August, right? And so some of these are classes that you can just jump right in right now and start, and then some of them they actually want you to go with a cohort of other students, so then you can kind of learn with other people and kind of get a little more guidance. I think some of them have TAs. I think that you can audit all of these, but you can also get credit for that. So you can also, pay for I don't know, it's like 40 bucks or something, 49 bucks to pay for like a certificate when you get done, which then you can add to your resume of things that you've done. But even if you don't pay for it, you can still say that you took the class, right? And list it as your skills. And these go, much deeper into to some of the coding that they're doing. These all have like themes or specific goals. And so, like, this is data science. So it's really, how do you take data? For example, right now everybody's trying to take a bunch of COVID data and turn it into something that makes sense and means that they can project models and all kinds of stuff. Well, that's exactly what these kinds of classes are about, is how to do that kind of data management, data analysis, data manipulation to be able to do something interesting with data. All right, so that's what I want you to work on. I am going to post probably tomorrow. I'm going to post tomorrow two things. One, I'm going to post a Flipgrid that I want you to do, and I'll explain what I want in that Flipgrid. It'll be kind of a uh, a message to your classmates at the end, as we close out the year. And my goal is that what I want to be able to do is take all those Flipgrids and put them together into a little video that we can then post. So be aware that Flipgrid video I'm going to make public to our school, so that our school and other teachers and people can see that. So I'll explain all that when I post it tomorrow, and what the goals are. The other thing that I'm going to post is kind of a "What are your plans?" survey. I would like to know what your plans are as soon as school's out, right? Your summer plans, and what's your plan for next fall. If you're a junior, well, that just means, oh, I'm going to be distance learning as my start my school as my senior year. But if you're a senior, you might have had a whole ton of plans that completely changed. And so I'd like to know, what those plans are, as we collect a little data on what you're doing, and what you're whether you're working, or going to junior college, or taking a gap year. What does it mean? Because honestly, right now, if you were going to like one of the UCs and they're saying, oh, it's all going to be distance learning, you're probably paying a lot of money for an online class that is going to be the same quality as if you were going to a junior college. So think about that as you're running off to college, if that's where you're going. What's the best way to leverage that learning? Anyway, with that, I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to ask some questions. Like I said, I'll probably put some Python labs tomorrow, and finish those up for the end of the week. But if you're still working on the old Python labs, then keep working on those. I'm going to be tweaking your grades based on the work that you're doing. So keep working, because every time you show up at a meeting, and every time you turn in a lab, or anytime you set up a call with me, or text me and ask me questions, and we interact, that counts as participation. And I'm tweaking your grades based on that upwards. So be sure to don't just like give up at the end here, right? If you have some extra time, spend some time working on this. It'll pay off in the end, just because you'll get more experience doing tech stuff. Okay, so questions? I'll click on the chat, see if anybody else got a question there. You can unmute. You can even turn your video on and say hi to everybody.
It's not a question,
Okay.
but just a little bit of an update. I'm still working on my list lab number 2. and I'm kind of struggling with it just a little bit. So I might need to call later, but
Okay.
I think I might figure it out just because like I have like the actual link open for like the chapter on it.
Okay.
So I just have to read it more and stuff like that. Cause I already read it, but I just need to maybe reread it again and see if I missed anything.
Okay.
Can I give you a call later?
Yeah, no problem. And if you want to just send me an email with a quick question, I can maybe point you in the right direction. If you're stuck on any particular thing, we can spend a few minutes here if you've got any specific question. But yeah, I mean, send me mail at any time, and or text or Slack or whatever, and I'll answer your questions.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Michelle, any questions?
For today, but I might send you an email later in the day.
Perfect, no problem. Carson? Christopher?
I don't think I have any.
All right. Okay, well, so that was kind of the update. Definitely watch this video. That I think you'll find it's interesting. There's me saying hi if you haven't watched that video yet. And then there'll be an assignment. I want you to pick out one of these options here to tell me what what Python additional Python resources you went and looked at and played around with. Right? And they may even answer some of your Python questions that you might have right now. So that'll show up right after I hang up. It'll show up as a Google Classroom assignment as well. All right. Well, if there's not any more questions, I'm going to stop sharing, and we can move on with our days.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr.